I have never seen any show or movie Amy Schumer has been in, nor have I ever seen more than like 30 seconds of any of her stand-up specials. So whenever someone goes on a tirade about how bad of a comedian Amy Schumer supposedly is, I have nothing to add to the conversation because I know next to nothing about her career. As a person, however, god fucking damn, has these last few weeks really made me not like her. Ever since Hamas's attack on Israel, she has been absolutely insufferable when it comes to posting pro-Zionist propaganda on her social media. Like this post on her Instagram, for example. If you scream genocide but were silent about the massacre of October 7th, you might hate Jews. If you call for a ceasefire, but not for the release of hostages, you might hate Jews. If you oppose Israel's right to defend itself, but say nothing of Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, and Syria's continuous rocket launches towards the civilian population of Israel, you might hate Jews. I hate this fucking talking point. You're against Israel's right to defend itself. Yes, if a country is attacked, that country is going to bite back. No shit. But what people have a problem with is Israel's disproportionate response to what Hamas did towards Israeli civilians. On October 7th, it is estimated that 1,400 Israelis have died. Now compare that to how many Gazans have died since. More than 10,000 people have been killed in 31 days of relentless Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, according to Palestinian health officials, with no signs of a ceasefire in the besieged enclave. In a statement on Monday, Gaza's Ministry of Health said the death toll has risen to at least 10,022 Palestinians, including 4,104 children, with many victims still trapped beneath the rubble and an Israeli siege drying up access to vital goods like fuel, food, and electricity. This is from Al Jazeera. So yes, like I have said several times already, what Hamas did in Israel last month was abhorrent, and anyone trying to say that this was decolonization in action is a fucking idiot. However, what did those 4,000 children who have died in Gaza so far had to do with what Hamas did in Israel? Fuck all. We are seeing the mass death of so many civilians who have done nothing wrong, and that is the issue so many people are taking with Israel's response to what Hamas did. It's like 9/11, for example. 9/11 was a terrible tragedy, but did that say justify the invasion of Iraq, a country that had fuck all to do with 9/11? No. 9/11 saw just under 3,000 deaths, and according to the 2006 Lancet study, over 600,000 deaths in total have been attributed to the Iraq War. Total disproportionate response. Anyway, let's read more of this drivel. If you spoke out against Israel's tragic bombing of the hospital in Gaza, but have made no contraction once you learned that it was actually done by Islamic Jihad, you might hate Jews. I'm pretty sure that hospital actually was bombed by Israel, by the way. If you use inflammatory language regarding Israel, no matter how flawed their government, but use measured and apologetic terminology around Hamas, a terrorist organization whose charter clearly states their intent to kill Jews, you might hate Jews. I have no problem saying fuck Hamas, much like I have no problem saying fuck the Israeli government, but on the other hand, I can also acknowledge that Hamas is an unfortunate byproduct of Israel's decades-long colonialism. If a specific group of people is continuously subjugated, thrown out of their fucking homes, and having more and more of their land stripped away from them, then no shit, certain individuals within said group are going to turn to extremism. This is by no means a justification of Hamas and what they did in Israel, of course, but rather this is acknowledging the reality that has brought us to this situation. And if acknowledging reality means I hate Jews, then I say, fuck you, you're dumb. If you chant decolonize but fail to condemn the chanting of gas the Jews at rallies in city streets and universities worldwide, you might hate Jews. Yes, there are some genuinely bad people who have used this situation as a means to justify their anti-Semitism, but that by no means makes up a significant portion of those who are for the liberation of Palestinian people. The general sentiment among most of those who are pro-Palestine is that they want a ceasefire. They want innocent Gazans to stop being bombed. It seems like you're painting with a very broad brush and saying all of these people who are taking to the streets and taking a stand against ongoing genocide are attending anti-Semitic hate rallies where they say shit like gas the Jews. Again, yes, these hate hate rallies do exist. They have happened. There are people who are using this current situation to justify their anti-Semitism, and those people are fucking disgusting. But most of the people out there protesting are against the Israeli government, not Jews as a whole. There is a fundamental difference between the two. If you're pained by the tragic loss of Palestinian life, as we all are, sure you are, but take no responsibility for being complicit in the spreading of rhetoric that equals pre-Holocaust propaganda, you might hate Jews. And what the fuck is this rhetoric that supposedly equals pre-Holocaust propaganda? Israel's an apartheid state, settler colonialism is bad. If you take issue with either statement, I say that says a lot more about you than it does about those who are saying those statements. We, the Jewish people, should have been given the space to mourn, but instead we had to use all our energy to defend not only our right to grieve, but to exist. And if you disagree with this statement, you might hate Jews. Okay. For someone who said earlier in their statement, if you're pained by the tragic loss of Palestinian life, as we all are, you seem to be disproportionately concerned for one group of people who are not the other group of people who are actively being bombed right now. And speaking of disproportionate concern, this leads me to something else I've seen from Amy Schumer. She sent a string of long DMs to some actress who was calling her out for her Zionism. I'm not going to read all of it. If you want to see all of it, I'll link it in the description. But there's one DM I want to focus on. Also, that story about that person thinking you were so young. That's so funny. You must have been so annoyed they thought you looked so young. Sorry, I don't know the context to this. What a cool video to post, while I'm hoping someone doesn't slit my son's throat at school like they've been threatening to do, and posting pictures of my house. But I deserve that, right? One day when you realize how you acted in this moment, I will accept your apology. All the best. Again, this is in response to some actress taking issue with the Zionist propaganda that Amy Schumer has been posting in the last few weeks. Now look, if anyone was actually threatening to slit her son's throat and going to her house unsolicited, taking pictures of it as a means to threaten her, then yes, that is disgusting. However, I don't believe this actress was engaging in that behavior, so I think the reason that Amy Schumer brought this up in this DM conversation was because she wanted to guilt trip this actress into shutting up about her blatant Zionism and bigotry against Palestinian people. As if simply calling out the bullshit propaganda you've been posting for the last few weeks, in itself, is inspiring people to do this heinous shit towards you. This is what I fucking hate about a lot of celebrities. They have this stupid god complex where they think that everything revolves around them, even when it comes to serious current event issues such as this. I mean, I know that a lot of Gazan civilians are being bombed currently, including thousands of children, but what about my struggles that I face as a privileged rich white woman? You already have enough spotlight on yourself as a successful actress. If you have nothing to bring to the table besides smearing pro-Palestine activists, feigning sympathy for those in Gaza while you provide apologetics for the apartheid state that's bombing them right now, then just don't say anything at all. And as if her bigotry against Palestinian people wasn't obvious enough, look at this fucking comic she posted onto her Instagram. She has since deleted this, but the fact that she posted this in the first place is just horrendous. Gazans rape Jewish girls only in self-defense, stab Jews for Allah, killing kids for dignity, burn babies burn, cutting off Jewish breasts for Palestine, free Gaza, kill a Zionist, proud of our rapist martyrs, murdering 1,300 Jews isn't anti-Semitic, and there's one person wearing a I Heart Hamas t-shirt. Like, this is not only a disgusting, blatant smear of those who want to see the bloodshed in Gaza end, but this is also a further perpetuation of the age-old narrative that every brown person in the Middle East is this savage, violent extremist. I've read this study before in a video, but I'll read it again since it's pertinent to what I'm discussing right now. 62% of Gazans supported Hamas maintaining a ceasefire with Israel. Moreover, half, 50%, agreed with the following proposal. Hamas should stop calling for Israel's destruction, and instead accept a permanent two-state solution based on the 1967 borders. Hamas was elected to govern Gaza way back in 2006, almost 20 years ago. The median age of your your average Gazan citizen is like 18, 19, 20, so your average Gazan was likely not even fucking alive when Hamas was elected to govern Gaza, or was still in diapers. And yet Amy Schumer wants you to think that all of Gaza is just this violent wasteland that Israel has every right to wipe out. And one more thing, I promise this is the last thing I'll talk about. This video is long enough already. MLK's daughter also recently called out Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer posted a clip onto Twitter of MLK talking about how Israel has a right to exist, and then MLK's daughter responded with a clip of MLK talking about why the US needs to withdraw from Vietnam, essentially making the point that her father would have never stood for Israel's occupation in Gaza, and would have called for a ceasefire had he been alive today. Just because MLK had some positive things to say about Israel back in the 60s, back when there was a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine, does not mean he would absolutely be in favor of Israel bombing Gaza today. Using his words to justify your pro-genocide message is both disingenuous and disgusting. Jesus Christ, I was indifferent towards Amy Schumer before all of this, but now I don't have a single nice thing to say about her. Holy shit, what a wretched person. Anyway, closing statement. Fuck Amy Schumer and fuck all of these other celebrities who are currently using their platform to spread Zionist propaganda and to make the populace okay with an ongoing genocide that long predates what Hamas did in Israel last month. Also, shout out to Justin Bieber, who, around the time Hamas attacked Israel, posted a picture of a bombed city with the caption, "Save Israel" or "Pray for Israel," whatever the fuck, when in actuality that picture was actually of a city in Gaza. I swear, these celebrities have nothing in their fucking heads. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.